Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. We're going to be talking about February as Teenage Dating Violence Awareness Month. And joining us in the studio is Joan Knies with Crisis Connection and Natosha Beckman with Crisis Connection. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
Now, I said Teenage Dating Violence Awareness. Now, sometimes violence isn't a violent act.
Correct. Many times when we think of violence, we obviously think of physical violence, and that certainly does happen. We actually had an incident in Indiana where a girl was killed after she left her abusive partner. Not too long ago, there's a law named Heather's Law. But more often, Bill, it's controlling, just controlling another person, telling them what to wear, telling them who to be friends with, telling them who not to talk to, who to talk to, just what activities they can be in, just basically not letting them have their own free will.
Now, Natosha, you're obviously young, but you're new to Crisis Connection. Is this really happening as much as we as older folks talk about?
Definitely. Looking back on the relationships in high school and early college, we are definitely experiencing this. The signs, I wasn't aware of what the signs were until working at Crisis Connection, but it's definitely there.
Okay, so she talks about signs and awareness. Is there kind of a fine line between controlling and not controlling?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you know, we were laughing earlier off camera about Valentine's Day. February is Valentine's Day month. So you think of getting a Valentine from your significant other that says, "Be mine." Well, that's usually meant to be in a sweet, we're together kind of thing. But in a controlling relationship, it's like, you're mine. Nobody else can talk to you. There's extreme jealousy. There's isolation. So that's taken out of context. If you're in an unhealthy relationship, you're stalked. I remember knowing a lady who every whip stitch, she'd get roses from her partner, and she'd never want them. She would always take the roses and give them to somebody else. And I thought that was the oddest thing. But now, knowing the signs and looking back, well, the cycle of violence usually goes, two people in a relationship, it's fine, then it becomes unhealthy. You're fat, you're ugly, I can't believe you talked to this person. Then there's this explosion, whether it be physical or not, and then it goes back to the honeymoon. So at that point, the roses would come. And then it would be honeymoon again for a while. Well, and then it goes around that cycle again. So now I get it, why she didn't want those flowers.
What are maybe some signs that parents, grandparents, friends can look for?
Natosha, I'll let you handle that one.
Well, controlling what they do, not letting them hang out with their friends, constantly taking their phone and looking through it to see who has messaged them or what they are saying, the social media aspect, even an uncontrollable thing like someone liking a picture that you posted. Why would he like your picture? So it's really just about controlling the person.
At what point does it become a problem? Because you're dating, and sure, you want your girlfriend to be your girlfriend, and you don't like it if she wants to date somebody else. It's a tough situation. At what point does it become abusive?
Well, you can almost tell it in your gut, right? If all of a sudden he's everywhere you are, and you didn't tell him where he was going to be. And Bill, I keep referring to the girl being a victim. A guy can be the victim as well, absolutely. And in many cases, that is mind manipulation. Well, if you really loved me, you would know what I'm thinking, you know, kind of putting them on guilt trips, that type of thing, questioning their manlyhood, that type of thing. Natosha referred to social media. That's a new beast. Every contact, every social media, that is a friendship link to somebody. And when that starts to go public, that can be very embarrassing. So that can be used to control somebody.
Now, you brought up something that to me is we didn't deal with when we were younger. You're dealing with it as being somebody younger, and those who are in high school are even dealing with it more and will deal with it more. And that social media is different now than it was. How does that play into it?
Well, that can be really difficult. When breakups are done online, then you have, it's not just a personal encounter anymore. You have to experience it with all of your friends, their family members. Everyone is seeing that this just happened, or just an argument or calling them out in some way online. It becomes more embarrassing because it can reach more people a lot quicker.
Now, Natasha, you brought up, you weren't aware of the signs, and now that you're a part of Crisis Connection, you kind of see the signs. What if we see signs? At what point do we step in, and is it any of my business to step in? I mean, obviously, if it's one of my kids, it's a little different. But at what point do you step in, and what do you do? How do you step in?
Well, I can take that one. First of all, you need to take it serious. And the best thing I'm going to tell you to do, if you're unsure, call the Crisis Connection. We have an 800 number that you can call 24 hours a day. And there's two other great websites. One is called loveisrespect.org, loveisrespect.org. And you can go on there, and there's little quizzes. Am I a good partner? How do you help somebody that's breaking up? Is he going to change? Is she going to change? And you just literally answer these questions, and it walks you through. If it walks you through to the point where it says you're not in a safe position or that person is in a safe position, it will actually help you create a safety plan, which our victim advocates can do as well. But it will actually take you to a safety plan on making sure that you're keeping records online, that you're in a safe place, that you have somebody watching you. We would never, ever advise someone literally physically getting in between somebody, whether it's a teenage dating relationship or an older relationship, because then that person can get hurt. So obviously the police can be called, which may seem ridiculous, but if there's physical fighting going on, indeed if there's emotional abuse or defamation of character, you're going to want to step involved, get involved. We have this wonderful book. It's called Understanding Dating, Dangerous Love and Creating Healthy Relationships. We have given away thousands of these. So we have parents, grandparents stop by the office a lot just wanting one of these to just learn more and to understand what is it that kids now think is a healthy relationship, and what might not be acceptable to me is perfectly acceptable to them. And my biggest advice is talk to them and ask them how they're feeling, and then don't judge. Well, you should leave the stupid jerk. Well, even if you think he's a stupid jerk, the conversation should probably be like, well, I think you can do better. Tell me how you're feeling, what's happening, that type of thing.
It's all love is a healthy relationship. It's all, roses and candy.
Mm-hmm.
But at times you're going to have some difficulties, and that's normal.
That's normal.
This is not what we're talking about.
No, this is when it crosses that line and somebody is emotionally damaged, physically damaged, is just not the person that they're meant to be. You can just tell when somebody's not the person that they need to be. Something's off. Something's just off. I can almost guarantee you there's something going on. And Bill, the Super Bowl recently had a commercial. The NFL is trying really hard to help people understand what healthy relationships are. And they had this No More campaign, this little thing. And I had a 5th grader the following week say, Mrs. Knies, did you see that Super Bowl ad? And I said, I sure did. And what that was a picture of a telephone conversation, of a text. And the person said, are you coming to the Super Bowl party? And the girl said, no, I can't. He's in one of his moods. And then the response was, well, are you okay? And there was no response. So at that point, you need to intervene. You need to go to her house, you need to call somebody. At that point, you would need to intervene. Something's up, she's not responding. Last year, it showed a 911 call, and she was calling a pizza place. She called 911, but she asked for a large pepperoni pizza. And the operator was like, you've called 911. She's like, I know, I need help. I need this delivered right now. And the operator figured it out that she needed help.
That's a great way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if someone calls Crisis Connection, that can be kind of a scary step for me to go, I think I'm going to need to call Crisis Connection because I see something I don't like. They're going to trace me. They're going to know it's me. And I want to assure that people know that does not happen.
Right. No, absolutely not. We've been around for 33 years. And in fact, a couple of years ago, we got a new phone system. And the technicians wanted to do caller ID. And we were like, absolutely not, absolutely not. This has to be totally confidential. And they just thought we were old-fashioned. But we had to explain to them that, no, this is totally confidential. And in fact, you don't have to give your name. And there's another way. If you're comfortable with it, that loveisrespect.org, you can text them and actually text some help. Like you just text love is to 22522, and you can communicate that way as well. So no, we couldn't exist without confidence. That's one of our core values, is to keep things confidential.
We want to make sure that people know that.
Right, absolutely confidential.
And really, that's for people who see something they think or are aware of something, and that may be somebody that saves somebody's life, and not necessarily saves their living life,
Right.
but saves their mental life the rest of their life if you can stop something like that early.
Absolutely. We have a program called Natural Helpers. Natasha, you can tell them about the little chain you brought. People do really want to care.
First of all, what is Natural Helpers?
Yeah, Natural Helpers is a group that the kids in the area high schools say they naturally go to for help, and we do a retreat with them, and so they're the network in the school that are helping other kids.
It's kids that are helping kids.
Kids helping kids, that's right.
And then this is a chain.
Right. So we go over different topics every year and throughout the year, and one of them is teen dating. And so I went in as a follow-up retreat, and we talked about what a healthy relationship is and what it is not. And so this chain is filled with different things that kids wanted to remember in the school, to how to help a friend or something they want to remember in their own personal relationships. And then we hang it up in the office during Valentine's Day month, whatever, as a reminder that these kids are wanting to help in their schools.
This might be a good way for them to express it without saying it
Right.
in front of anybody, too.
Right. And we let the kids read it. We take them with us back to the retreats, and it's anonymous. There's nothing on there, but it's kids helping kids again. And one of them, they said, don't lie, be honest. Well, that's pretty good advice, you know. So people do want to help. Absolutely.
I think the most important thing, though, is awareness.
Absolutely.
And if we can create the fact that there are things that happen right here in our community, and I think, Joanne, what you said is best. If the gut tells you something's not right, you know something's not right.
I didn't want to believe it happened either. You know, I didn't want to. At the Crisis Connection, we would love nothing better than to shut the place down. But we know it is happening. And so if we can help one person, one kid, one adult, and the community is going to be key in that, then that's what we want to do.
So keep an eye or an ear out.
That's right.
This is teen dating, and we're reluctantly going to say violent
Right.
awareness month, because it's not always physical violence.
Correct.
It's oftentimes mental violence.
Absolutely.
It probably always starts with mental violence, I would assume,
Right.
and then goes
Financial
to
abuse.
physical.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Financial abuse, which is
Well, like, okay, you go out on a date, who's going to pay for it? You know, and then if, let's say the guy pays for it and spends a lot of money, well, then does that mean you owe him something? And so you need to have those conversations. But when it goes on to adults, or well, even dating, that all of a sudden one person's paying for everything, and I need $10, and I need $10, and I need $10, I need $10, and they're just using the person for their money. That's very unhealthy as well.
so a lot of different abuses
Right.
that happen. Just be aware of them and
Right.
keep an eye out.
Right.
Got a question? Contact Crisis Connection, and you can do that anonymously to get more
Absolutely.
information.
Absolutely.
Ladies, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Our guests have been from Crisis Connection, Natosha Beckman and Joan Knies. Thank you for watching WJTS in.form. We're local people watching local people.